piece of me?
Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Good morning, Vietnam! I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
You do. You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Happy Monday, moviegoers. Welcome to episode 227. Welcome to Glass Onion, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. I'm your host, Juan, and I am joined here by the cast, the crew, the good fellas. Edward.
Hey, how's it going, folks?
Zach.
Evening, everybody. How's everyone's day been going?
Great day. More importantly, how's the weekend been? Did you guys have a good week?
It was a quick weekend, man.
Quick
Not
weekend.
enough.
I can feel that. We were here though on this kind of a chaotic Monday, but it's a good Monday. It's the second Monday of the January, so the year is still super young. But today we're talking about Rian Johnson's Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, or how I like to call it, a Knives Out sequel. I don't know why they didn't just call it that, but we're talking Knives Out today. So everybody out there who joined us for Elvis last week, I want to say thank you. Thank you for everybody who downloaded last week's episode. Again, you can always listen to all of our stuff wherever you listen to podcasts at. Anchor, Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, of course, and the Prescribed Films Network. Just go to www.prescribedfilms.com, hashtag there the PFPN, and you can check us out all over their network as well. And if you're watching us here on Emisawa Productions YouTube channel, you can watch us on demand starting on Mondays at 6 p.m. And man, what a day. I'm kind of excited to talk about this movie. It's something that we kind of fished around and had talked about maybe a little bit in December, but I wasn't super comfortable with pulling the hook. So we'll see how we go today with talking about Glass Onion. The social media, you guys can find us on social media. Unless you're like Zach and you don't have social media, this is fine. Right, Zach? It's fine.
Yeah, join the club.
Yeah. But you guys can find us on social media. It's facebook.com/the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. The Instagram is all one word, the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. The Twitter is at Cine-Men405. And then the email. You guys can send us in some emails still. We will read emails a few times a month or save for a special email bag episode. But either way, we will get to some emails. CINEMEN921@gmail.com. And that's how you can find us all on the social media. So yeah, interesting movie today. Interesting top 5, guys. Today we're talking our top 5 most anticipated movies of 2023. Craig's joining us as well. Craig, how's your weekend? Can't hear you,
Sound.
Craig,
Just a second, folks.
A little technical difficulties, just like my Dallas Cowboys kind of let me down yesterday. Man.
Good now?
Good, yeah, we can hear
there
you.
you go.
Yeah, no, it was just initial setup, running late from work. Yeah, weekend was short. It was cool. We took the Christmas tree down, season's over.
It's over.
Everything was good. Chilled with the family.
Chill with the family. I still have my tree up. I'm thinking about I'm definitely not in the spirits anymore. I'm just about taking it and putting it down by the curb, see if anybody wants it. So
he's really done with Christmas this time.
I'm definitely getting a new one next year. But this week's top 5, guys, we are talking our top 5 most anticipated movies of 2023. Let's get ready. Top 5. This is a fun little top 5 we do every single January, and I think this year is going to be just as fun as years past. If nobody has any honorable mentions, anybody have any they want to name?
No.
I got to Renfield. Did you guys see the trailer to this with Nicholas Hoult and Nicholas Cage? It's like a Dracula kind of spinoff
Yeah.
from Universal Monsters.
Yeah.
It looks fun. Looks like a fun comedic vampire film. And The Equalizer 3 is my official honorable mention.
Nice. I have none, so I'm going to kick us off with number 5. Number 5 for me is going to be Scream 6. Comes out March 10th of this year. The trailer looks cool. The posters look cool. New York City, new rules. They kind of went all out last year with the brand new one with Dewey dying. Spoiler alert. So I think this one's going to be just the same. I think it's going to be a very fantastic horror movie. And I think it's going to do tremendous at the box office. So I'm just equally excited about this movie at all stages of film. So Scream 6 is number 5 for me. Zach, what's number 5 for you?
Number 5 for me is going to be John Wick Chapter 4. I'm excited to see where this franchise is going. I think the first 3 have been really, really fun, awesome. Keanu Reeves is incredible in these movies. The action is awesome. The fact that Donnie Yen's going to be in this one, I don't know if he's going to be an ally or a villain, and Bill Skarsgård is definitely going to be the villain in this. It's just going to be interesting to see where they take the character and how he's going to defeat the High Table. So John Wick Chapter 4 is number 5.
Nice. Edward, number 5 for you.
Number 5, I'm going to go ahead and go with Wonka. Timothy Chalamet, man, it's going to basically tell the tale of how he met the Oompa Loompas. Focusing on like a really, really young Willy Wonka and some of his earliest adventures to kind of create his career in life. So, yeah.
I feel like that could be really, really good, especially with Timothy Chalamet, or it could be just kind of just not what you expect it to be.
Well, I mean, like, I feel like as long as they go ahead and kind of don't necessarily do what. Well, not only that, but I feel like as long as they don't do, like exactly what Depp did or exactly
Gene Wilder,
what Wilder did for that matter, I feel like they can use elements, but don't copy it and then kind of make him young. I mean, honestly, don't make him an old cynical person or a bat crazy loner. Like, he's young, hopeful,
So you want Wonka to go out there and start roofing motherfuckers' drinks then?
I didn't say that, but I do.
That's how he captures the Oompa Loompas. He roofies them.
Oh my God.
Craig, number 5 for you?
Number 5 for me is going to be Mario. It's just as a film, I think it's going to be simple. It's going to be, just a cartoon, another, kind of the creators of Minions are making it. So it'll be simple, but I'm excited for it because my daughter's excited for it. And I think it's going to be a good experience for us both.
Yeah,
that movie's going to make so much money.
Good number 5, and like Craig said, it's Illumination, so it's gonna be tremendous. It's gonna be good no matter what. They don't put out anything bad. I don't think I've seen anything bad from Illumination. Number 4 for me is gonna be The Flash. I kind of know some people are done with this movie already. Some people are like, Ezra Miller. We're done. What he did was wrong. But you know what? At the end of the day, if Michael Keaton is in the movie and his Batman is going to be in the movie, I have to look forward to this movie. I think the story is still going to be tremendous. And there's still word out there that, Warner Brothers is still wanting to keep The Flash. So whether this is going to be a tie-in or, this could just be a one and done like Black Adam. We'll talk about that in a few weeks, but it could be a one and done. But like I said, I'm stoked that I get to see Michael Keaton dressed up as Batman one more time. So that's why it's number 4 for me. The Flash hits theaters June 16th. So Zach, what's number 4 for you?
Number 4 for me, you would think I had this higher, but there was a couple more that outdid it. the week before Scream 6, Creed 3. I think it comes out March the 3rd. Michael B. Jordan's going to be behind the director chair. I'm excited for what he's going to do. I think Jonathan Majors is going to be a badass villain, the antagonist of this film. I'm a little bummed that Stallone's not going to be in it, but I think in order for this character to hold its own, you're going to have to go without Stallone. I think it's going to be a badass film. It's going to be a great sequel. So Creed 3.
Nice. Edward, number 4 for you.
I'm riding coattails right now, man. Creed 3 as well. I'm looking forward to it. The other two installments have been very, very good. Like you said, I don't think Creed can. I don't think Adonis can evolve and properly evolve, for that matter, without Rocky or Stallone being out of it. It does suck that you don't get that legendary character, but at the same time, even like when Mickey passed, or different things happened with Rocky's, the Rocky franchise, he had to evolve. So same thing with this character.
So
what up? What up?
Ah! Craig, number 4 for you.
I was waiting for y'all to finish. Number 4 for me. I had a movie here, but I'm going to go with The Flash. After I heard you say The Flash, I agree with you. All the trouble that he's going through, it seems like Warner Brothers is really turning the other cheek with all this stuff. And I kind of sent you guys something in the group chat saying that they believe this is
the next Dark Knight,
the best movie since The Dark Knight. So if that's true, maybe we can all kind of, but I'm in, just from them saying that, it kind of raises the anticipation a little bit more. So
number 3 for me, somebody said it earlier. Number 3 for me, so I won't spend too much time on it, is going to be Wonka.
Hey.
It comes out December 15th, so we have a ways for it, until we get to see it. But I'm a huge Wonka character fan. I love the original with Gene Wilder, and Johnny Depp is my go-to guy. So I love those both movies, and I think the character itself is mysterious. So super excited for this one. Number 3 for me is Wonka. Zach, number 3 for you?
Number 3 for me hits theaters November the 3rd as Dune Part 2. I think all of us were really in shock of how good that first Dune movie was a couple years ago. I think Denis Villeneuve is going to knock it out of the park with this one as well. We got 3 really good additions to the cast with Florence Pugh, Austin Butler, and Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. Zendaya, I know we kind of had a complaint that Zendaya really wasn't in it. She's going to have a bigger part in this one after reading the book. But yeah, I'm excited for it, and I hope it's as good, maybe even better than the first one. So Dune Part 2.
Edward, number 3 for you?
Number 3 for me, I'm going to go ahead and go. I really have hope for this one, and I truly, truly want it to be good, just because, it doesn't. Fantasy games don't get really that good of a light on movies. So, Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. I really, truly hope it does good.
The only thing that I'm just like, the saving grace is Chris Pine's in it. I'm just like, okay, maybe. Well,
so with that, the thing I'm looking at is World of Warcraft. That movie
was trash.
It wasn't. It had a couple of okay things, but it wasn't great at all.
Yeah.
And like I said, usually a fantasy game turned into a movie doesn't really get that good of light. This is why I haven't put it higher, and I'm looking forward to it. I hope it does great, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
And we have the Last of Us starts on HBO Max this Sunday, so we'll kind of. I know that's not fantasy, but we'll kind of see how that adaptation is going to be.
And I mean, with the rise of Stranger Things and its Dungeons and Dragons theme in the plot, hopefully they'll take and kind of kick with that somehow.
Craig,
We'll see.
number 3 for you.
Number 3 for me.
Hey!
It's going to be Creed 3.
Yay.
I wasn't, overly ecstatic over Creed 1 and 2. Hey, Ed.
Huh.
Let's not whistle.
Aw.
Okay. Yeah, Creed 3. I wasn't overly ecstatic for 1 and 2, but 3 just looks really good with Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan coming into it. So,
Number 2 for me, just for sentimental reasons, is Indiana Jones. It comes out June 30th. It's going to be a fun movie, a fun ride. I can't wait to see where this character goes. Huge Indiana Jones fan. So number 2 for me, Indiana Jones. The 5th installment hits theaters June 30th. Zach?
Number 2 for me is the next one. I guess the final part 1 and part 2, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. What Tom Cruise has been able to do with these Mission Impossible movies the last couple go-rounds have been incredible. I think Fallout is one of the best action movies in the last 10 plus years. I'm excited to see. I mean, we got a glimpse of it. I think of him riding that motorcycle off the ramp, off into just off the cliff, looks extraordinary. Seeing it on IMAX on the biggest screen possible is going to be a thrill ride. So I'm excited for it. Number 2, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. What's your number 2, Ed?
Number 2 for me, Craig might agree, or he might go higher. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I am looking forward to Adam Warlock's
Will Poulter
role to come out. Will Poulter, exactly. They should do Toy Story and use him as Sid. Simple as that.
not anymore. It don't look like that anymore.
True. The adult version. Anyways, but yeah, this probably will be the last Guardians of the Galaxy, or as Craig might correct me, as Guardians of the Galaxy. So yeah, if it is the last one truly, and some of the current cast members are done, I would love for it to be great. So yeah.
Craig, number 2 for you.
Number 2 for me is going to be Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I went and saw the first one by myself on my birthday. Just kind of took the day off, and it was a last-minute thing. Ended up loving. Yeah, I ended up loving the movie. I think that was the only movie that I've ever seen just by myself. Top Gun, obviously, but I think this one's going to be amazing. With the addition of all the new actors and voice actors in it, can't wait for it.
Number 1 for me, my most anticipated movie for this 2023 year, as of now, has a November 3rd release. Dune Part 2. Zach, you hit it on all nails of the coffin. I think it's a fun movie. It was way better than the original, and it was one of my favorite movies of that year. So I expect nothing less from Dune Part 2. That's my number 1. Zach?
Number 1 for me, should be no surprise. Anytime this man has a movie out, it's on the top of my list. July 21st of 2023, Oppenheimer, directed by Christopher Nolan. Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Florence Pugh, Rami Malek. I think it's going to be an awesome movie. Those trailers, I mean, the fact that this is basically a biopic and he's made it look like Tenet or Inception or, whatever else, Dunkirk, I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a kick-ass film, and yeah, we'll see what this new project's going to be. So number 1's Oppenheimer.
Ed, number 2 for you. Number 1, sorry.
Number 1 for me, I can't really say the title of it very much. I can only say what universe it's in because they have not released the title of such movie. The Exorcist Untitled. Really looking forward to how they continue this franchise. Hopefully they pick it back up and are in better ways with it, and spin it into a new, version.
Are they doing the Halloween treatment? It's a direct sequel to the original. Part of me thinks that is.
Probably, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't heard much about it, to be fully honest.
Craig, finish this off.
My number one. There's a lot of them that could be number one.
We haven't even heard a Marvel film from you yet.
I know. It's going to be Ant-Man. Is my
I figure it's got to be a Marvel at number one.
Technically, Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
It's not MCU, but yeah, Ant-Man and the Quantumania. Again, Jonathan Majors. He's having an amazing kind of 2-year span coming up. This is kind of like the middle of it. Really can't wait to see how they move forward with him as the main villain.
We talk about it in just a few weeks, so should be a fun episode. I can't wait. It'll be the first time we all.
I am super surprised you did not have Evil Dead Rise in your top 5. I really thought that'd be your number one.
You know,
there's a lot of good films coming out this year.
There's a lot, but when it comes down to it, like these, a lot of the movies I haven't been to the theater in a while, but a lot of the movies that are on my list are movies that I have to see opening weekend.
Yeah.
So that's if I don't have the dire need to go see it opening weekend, I'm like, you know what? Does it really make that list for me? So
yeah, I mean, like Dune is like 6, Mission Impossible 6, like all these movies that didn't make mine that you guys kind of named off. They're right there at the 6th spot.
6 through 10.
No, just 6. Yeah. Like they're
just six,
there,
six,
just
six,
to
6.
Get in. Yeah.
What'd you say? No.
But if you guys want to play along, go ahead and send us in your top 5 most anticipated movies, and we will share them soon. But as far as today goes, we are talking Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. Famed Southern detective Benoit Blanc travels to Greece for his latest case, starring Daniel Craig, Edward Norton, Kate Hudson, Dave Bautista, Janelle Monáe, Catherine Hayne, Leslie Odom Jr., written and directed by Ryan Johnson. Currently, IMDb has this at a 7.2. Rotten Tomatoes is at a 93%. The Metascore is at 81%, and the Google users have it at 84%. With a $40 million budget, this only grossed $15 million in the theaters at the box office, but it's a Netflix film with a theatrical release of December 23rd, 2022. Let's get it started.
Let's get it started, fool.
What'd you guys think? Glass Onion, Knives Out was a tremendous success. We did an episode on it a few years ago. Everybody loved Knives Out. I rewatched it over the weekend to, in some preparation for Glass Onion. But you know what? Glass Onion, to me, I'll start this review off. It felt like an onion, okay? Let's go back to some Shrek talk here. Peeling back the layers of the movie, I was expecting a whodunit masterpiece after I peeled back the onion. But what I ended up getting was honestly another big pile of, am I ever going to watch this again? Franchise film. You put Benoit Blanc on there, and you put Daniel Craig in there, and some of the teasing of who done it or what the mystery murder is going to be kind of self-explained itself in the first hour, to where they had to throw 2 different stories at you. I don't know. Anybody else want to go off and kick? I just was a little disappointed with this movie.
I kind of felt like this was a grown-up bodies, but with a detective.
So are you disappointed?
A little bit on some of the story, but not. I mean, the acting I thought was decent. It was not as good as the first one for sure, but at the same time, I did enjoy the movie. I thought it was just enough mystery to kind of have a little fun with it, but not enough to truly be kind of like, okay, what's next?
Craig or Zach, let's go you next. What'd you think?
First time I did get to see this in the theater when it was out for Thanksgiving, but I talked about this on the show. My viewing was hindered because I didn't have the volume all the way up, so I couldn't hear what people were saying. So I tried to give the movie that a benefit of the doubt, and the first time I liked it. I thought it was a worthy sequel. This time around, I was like you, man. I was just kind of disappointed, and like we'll get into the details of it, but I just felt like if this is what
had a lot more.
Yeah,
Sorry.
this could have been a lot better, a better potential.
Yeah. Craig, what about you?
You know, I just, it's one of these movies where I was kind of forced to watch it for the podcast, and it felt that way.
Yeah. You know, I had fun with the first maybe hour and a half, but after that, I was just kind of like twiddling my thumbs. It didn't keep me interested. Didn't keep me entertained. And then I'm like, you know what? If I physically own this, I would never pick it up again.
I'll go opposite of you. I was more intrigued in the second part.
I was like, I was not just, I don't think I'd ever pick this up or hit play on Netflix again. And then just for the simple fact that, like, man, I just watched the first one, you know, just to kind of get the tease and the gist of the character of Daniel Craig's character again. And man, I had fun through the entire 2 hour and 15-minute movie, even though it's like the third time I've seen it. Had a hell of a time rewatching it.
And that's the thing. I think the biggest issue with this movie is the characters. I was like you. I actually went back and rewatched the first one a couple of weeks after seeing seeing the second one. And that first one is a blast. Ana de Armas, Chris Evans, Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, you care about those characters and you want not only Ana de Armas to get away with it, but like to unravel the mystery with Daniel Craig. These characters, they're just boring to me.
Let me bring this up again because I know we've touched bases on it before, and we're about to talk about it because well, not really. All the movies we're about to talk about the rest of the month were actually in theaters and meant for theaters. This movie was meant for Netflix. This was a Netflix kind of original film. Would you not, Zach? Isn't it a Netflix original film?
Yeah, technically.
So with a budget of only $40 million, I feel like the cast here is very generic. I want to bring this up. I haven't seen Kate Hudson in like 20 years.
There's a reason.
What has she done lately? Dave Bautista, I don't know. Unless you're holding up a world championship or you're in Guardians of the Galaxy, you don't do it for me anymore. Edward Norton, almost kind of like, what have you done for me lately with Edward Norton? I just feel like the cast in this movie was very generic. Even though I did like some of the feedback. I did like some of the traits of the characters. I felt like outside of Daniel Craig, it was just generic.
I think the only standout for me of the cast. I think the only standout for me in the cast was Janelle Monáe, and obviously she's a big twist in the show. But I mean, she brought a little bit more charisma. That even like I think we all can say that we like Edward Norton, but he was just like on a flat note the entire time.
You could tell there was a lot. You could tell there was a lot behind that character that's trying to not be shown, but he wants it to be like it was a complex. It was a character that thinks it's complex, but is not.
I felt like this movie wasn't dark enough.
I feel like this one was more comedic than the last one.
This one was more a little bit comical. Craig, what about you, man? Were you in love with the characters?
Probably the only character that I enjoyed was Janelle Monáe and Daniel Craig. I can go on about this movie. I didn't really care.
No, please.
I just okay. If we're going all in, you know, I thought we were just doing characters. I thought the movie tried to be more than it was. I think the score with it tried to make it seem like it was some dramatic Emmy, Global Academy, whatever award you want to throw at it kind of movie. And I'm just sitting there. He's trying to do all these wide shots at the beginning. And I'm just like, what are we doing here, dude? It's not Star Wars. You don't need to capture everything about this. Just get to the damn house and do the mystery. And you can cut this down to 1 hour and 40 minutes instead of 220. but he had all these wide shots, all these long shots. The score just made it feel like it was something bigger than it was. Just didn't do it for me.
And then, I mean, to really have the main villain be called more of an idiot than anything was kind of just almost an insult to your own story in a way, in my opinion. Just because I get what Blanc is going at, and he's like, dude, you're stupid because you set it up a lot from probably this point. But for you to go ahead and write it that way was, in my opinion, kind of, like I said, just a slap in its own face.
The only good thing about this movie to me was the twist of the twins of Janelle, Monáe playing both of them.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen till like the second, really the almost an hour into the movie. You don't even get a death until an hour into the movie is when you get Batista's death, Duke's death. And even then you're like, you can already tell who the killer is as far as the whodunit.
Well, so I'm watching it, and I see him hand Duke the glass, and I rewind it, and I'm like, yeah, he handed him the glass. Dude's dead. Like, it would be different if there was a twist at the end.
Yeah.
There's no twist.
Yeah.
It's like, let me just give you everything you need to see in this movie, make you think there's a twist, and just be like, there's not really a twist. This dude's actually kind of an idiot, and he thought he could get away with it in front of everybody.
What do you guys think of them using the pandemic in the beginning of the movie, like the lockdown? And, there's not that many movies today that are doing stuff like that, even though we just got done being in that big pandemic, and technically we still kind of are. But, you see them wear the masks, and, Benoit is kind of, he's kind of antsy because he's on, in the lockdown. What do you guys think of them using that aspect in the movie?
I thought it was pretty cool. The only part of that I didn't really like was the whole, like, nail gun shot, whatever it was.
You didn't like the Ethan Hawke cameo? He just randomly comes out of nowhere.
Oh yeah,
I mean, yeah.
I'm always happy to see Ethan Hawke.
I felt like he was about to summon an Egyptian god, and
He looked like he'd walk off the set of Moon Knight. I was just like,
honestly, it felt like a low budget idea. I mean, we kind of watched. I'm not saying it was a low budget idea when we watched it, but I mean, there's plenty of people who did short films about the pandemic and what they kind of went through during the pandemic. I mean, we even went over that last year. Like,
Yep.
it just felt like
Some of them felt more thought out than this.
Well, no, it just like it was like what's a smart way to get people to go to the island? Oh, we're in a pandemic. We're going to an all-inclusive island where it's just like think of it's a multi-million-dollar movie with a multi-million-dollar budget and director, and that's all you can come up with is we're gonna have a getaway on an island because of the pandemic. There's nothing more to get them out there.
but to me, it just felt like these the string through all these different characters is that they're basically like Janelle Monáe says is like you're sucking off the tit of Edward Norton.
The golden,
Like they're just using his money. Yeah, the golden tit. I mean, they're using his money to be in politics, be a scientist. Kate Hudson, I couldn't stand her in this movie. I know her character is written that way, but I thought she was terrible in this.
Yep. Agreed.
And I agree that it's funny that I understand that they're trying to make her like, they're trying to make her racist without being racist. Like she says something like, yeah, I was trying to be trying to pay respect to Beyonce. And she's like, no, please don't do that. Yeah. Harriet Tubman. And like, and the stupid thing of like, you mean to tell me you think that sweats are made in sweatshops? It's just like, dude, like I understand, like I said, I understand the character's written that way, but like every time she was on screen, I just wanted to turn it off. Honestly.
Nobody's that dumb.
Yeah. But like the other two characters, like Batista and his girlfriend and everything
Whiskey.
else. Yeah, Whiskey. The two characters that are so irrelevant in this is Catherine Hahn, who's the senator, and Leslie Odom Jr., who's a scientist. Like, there's no backstory to them at all. And it's just like, why even have these in? Say what?
Peggy and the Catherine.
Yeah. It's just like, what's the point of having these characters in here if like they don't really do anything?
Just somebody else to have second off the tit.
Not only that, but then you've got the brother. Like, other than being the guy who Benoit Blanc is sitting next to once she does what she does at the end of it and ruining his fortune, essentially, that's really it. Other than a couple of, surprise, hey, he's in this room.
Daryl, just randomly coming in and out of the scenes. Yeah,
I mean,
that got like a huge laugh in the theater every time he walked on screen.
Like that as a comedic relief, I get, but other than that, like that should have been the only like comedic relief. I agree with Juan with like this could have been a lot darker and maybe even more Clue-like, for that matter.
Speaking of Clue, what do you guys think of them referencing finally? I don't think they did it in the first one, but they referenced Clue in this one, where he actually had to play the game. He's like, "Oh, it sounds terrible." I thought that was a pretty fun little scene. If I could shed some positive light on this movie,
there was a couple of fun things here. I mean, honestly, like I enjoy the movie, I really do, but there are a lot of just aspects of it that, like Craig said, it's just trying to be something way more than what it actually is.
I think it would have. Yeah, I agree too. I think it would have been a little bit better if it was trimmed down a little bit, and then B, maybe if it was just a little bit more, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, maybe if there's a little bit more mystery to it.
Because I mean, honestly, you can compare the movie to Edward Norton's character. In my opinion,
because
it's trying to. Edward Norton's character is trying to be like this super genius that figured out this, so he's gonna bring about extreme energy that's gonna be really clean and all that, kind of like a Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. But essentially, you're an idiot because you just know the business aspect. I'm not saying he's stupid, but you're an idiot when it comes to that aspect. You're literally using one of the most volatile chemicals. Or gases, I should say, that's known to man at this point in this movie for your entire house. Not a part of it, not the heating, not anything, like the entire thing. So, I mean, it's comparable to the movie itself with Edward Norton's character.
Craig, earlier I told you that to me the first maybe like hour and 15 was probably more entertaining. And the only reason I say that is because the story between Monier and Daniel Craig, when you finally realize that they're in together, I didn't realize until I went back and just kind of skimmed through the film, that whole process was like an hour or 45 minutes. I felt like
rewind.
I felt like that was way too long to spend on that time.
Yeah, so I'd say 30 minutes into about 30 minutes before the ending of the film, that hour and 10 minutes is about my sweet spot for this film.
Yeah.
Because
it's before you're disappointed with the ending, and it's after they get past all of the how you doings.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the boxes are pretty cool. I thought that was a very cool aspect of it.
Yeah, the opening scene where each of the characters are trying to figure out how to uncover the mystery of these boxes. I thought this was going to
be one of the greatest movies ever during that scene.
Yeah, dude, for real. Like these puzzle boxes that are just, it's almost like Panic Room meets Knives Out kind of thing, But, with the Mona Lisa thing, that's automatically going to be a little something in the end of this movie on, the scream, it just automatically,
And Batista's mom's in the background. Like, it's an anagram. Like, she could figure it out, not even looking at the box. It's like, and that's the thing. Like, there are funny things in this movie. Like when Edward Norton gets the whole crew together, and he Blanc figures out the mystery that Kate Hudson was the killer, and then like the arrow shoots into Edward Norton's chest and fake blood spewts out. It was like, that was a funny scene. And he's like, yeah, I paid Gillian Flynn to write this whole mystery, and he figured it out in 5 minutes. Yeah, there were moments that was like really funny in this.
There were moments like that, and that's what could have kicked off something during that could have been something horrific that actually did happen. And he's just wanting that to be the start of it, and the game and all that. And now we're just having fun going around, and then that's
But that's the thing. If they had done it where it's a fake murder mystery, and then Edward Norton really gets killed in that moment, that would have been a great twist, and that sets off the rest of the film.
Because then you're automatically looking at Batista with his gun.
I thought that's exactly what it was going to be.
Yeah.
That's what it should have been.
When Edward said that he thought it was going to be bodies, that's exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Right. Just an accident just happened just because,
Now you guys can all agree that bodies is better than Knives Out too. Boom! In your face.
I won't go that far, but yeah.
Sorry, Zach.
Both of them were bad.
Agreed.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy the 40-minute backstory. It felt like it was also kind of being rushed. The last 30 minutes about putting two mysteries in one movie. Probably the best thing about the movie was that Batista didn't last very long. That's probably the best part of the movie. He was in and out. He was dead for most of the movie.
It's funny that he was a Twitch gamer.
Yeah.
So no, I didn't know you hated Batista that much, Johnny. Are you really looking forward to M. Night Shyamalan's new movie, Knock at the Cabin?
I'm not going to go see it in the theater, so if that tells you anything.
You're really excited then.
I did like the aspect of them that they kept bringing up the Mona Lisa. I like how the Mona Lisa was tied into this movie. For some reason, anytime I see that damn painting, it makes me want to watch the Da Vinci Code. So,
well, the Da Vinci Code's a better mystery than this.
It is.
Oh, much more.
All three of them are. But yeah,
I just,
definitely.
I think the biggest problem, just for me, I mean, obviously we all have our critiques, but I just think it goes back to these characters. I just don't think these characters are as entertaining or, entertaining, likable, or remotely interesting at all compared to the first one.
Zach, is that correct? This is being nominated for a Golden Globe?
It's nominated for Best Picture, and I think Daniel Craig's nominated, and I think Screenplay.
I can see Daniel Craig for a Golden Globe, but man, anything else is just kind of...
No.
Kind of
Babylon's better than this. Everything Everywhere All at Once is better than this.
When are the Golden Globes, Zach?
Tomorrow. So we'll probably talk about the winners next Monday.
Maybe.
Be damn upset tomorrow afternoon.
If Top Gun Maverick doesn't win, everyone in this room is going to be pissed off. Just watch.
Especially if this movie beats it out. Like, I don't know if it's in the same category.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. Yeah. It's its own category.
It's lucky. It's lucky.
But at the Oscars, that could be a different conversation.
Yeah. But we'll start with Ed. Ed, did you have a favorite scene?
The little clue scene that ended up with him with the fake blood with the arrow and all that. That was pretty funny, as well as the destruction scene. I mean, that's kind of one of the better moments of it all.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean,
Zach?
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree with you, Ed. The murder mystery party where Blanc debunks the mystery before it even begins. And also the opening. I think the opening is really, like, it sets it up to be something that's awesome when they're going through the mystery boxes and and then Janelle Monáe just literally beats it to death with a hammer after when we get introduced to her.
Yeah, it teases you.
But other than that, so those are probably my two.
What
about you, Craig?
Yeah, let's go with Craig. That's who I was going with.
Just my thoughts on it, like.
What's your favorite scene?
Favorite scene?
The credits.
No, I liked how I liked the setup between Janelle Monáe and Benoit Blanc. I like that. I like how they kind of work together. She gets shot in the chest, and that the book's there. just happens to be in the right spot. I liked the Jeremy Renner hot sauce spin.
Yeah, that was a great bit.
That was funny.
That was probably the best scene there. And Ed, when I tell you I knew exactly where it was, the envelope, like glass onion. And he kept talking about how you can just see everything in the glass onion, and there's nothing, bro. It's the only place he would fucking put it. At first, I thought the Mona Lisa was fake, and then I was like, no, it's going to be exactly behind his portion of the napkin, and I was damn right.
Well, on the rewatch, I noticed like the mural or the whatever it was. I was keeping the napkin. There's that little red dot that just kind of on the rewatch kind of gave it away. I didn't notice that on the first time. So.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Well, it kind of zooms into it when Janelle Monáe sees it, but
yeah,
I was just like, if there's one place you're gonna hide it, it's gonna be right with your napkin.
Yeah,
because they're not gonna be like, oh, I need to check here because that's his napkin. He's gonna hide it somewhere else.
Yeah. What about you, Johnny?
My favorite scenes would probably be anything that Daniel Craig is in. But if I had to pick, if I had to pick one scene in particular that sticks out among the rest, would probably be as soon as Batista dies and chokes, and Benoit is automatically trying to put everything together right then and there. I just like it is good when you have an actor who can play that character the way he wants to and the way it's probably supposed to be written, even when he's pointing out the fake death of Edward Norton's character. I mean, he's not a real detective, but damn, Daniel Craig is so good that you believe that he is a real Southern detective, and he plays that character on point. As long as they're not like this one, I would like to see more Knives Out movies. As long as they go back to what they did in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So get rid of Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
Isn't it his film though? Like, didn't he make the entire concept of it?
He did the first one. It's based off of a book, though, isn't it?
No, it was an original idea. Other than obviously doing.
He just can't handle sequels.
Yeah, there you go. Star rating 1 out of 10. Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. Edward, kick us off. What's your star rating for Glass Onion?
I'm gonna have to go with a 6. Yeah, a 6. Yeah.
I'm gonna give this movie a 6 as well. It's just completely overbooked. It's overspent. It's not entertaining. It's entertaining, but I don't think I would. If I had to put rewatchability on it, I don't think I'd ever want to rewatch this movie.
There is no rewatchability.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give this movie a 6 as well. Zach?
I'm gonna go just a little bit higher. I'm gonna give it a 7. The getting to see it in the theater was kind of a nice experience. I don't have to sit at home and watch it. Like I said, I agree with you, Johnny. If they want to make more of these, just go back to the original formula of the first film. I think Daniel Craig exceeds in these films. He's awesome in it as Benoit Blanc. Honestly, it's a Zach Morris. It's fine. I don't want to watch it again. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's just in that middle tier. So it's a 7.
Gregory?
I'll give it a 5.
Worst of the year. Here we get to that.
I just, like you said, this movie kind of was an onion. Started as a 10. It's a 9. It's an 8.
It's an 8.
Getting less and less of it. And then eventually, like, damn, this is just a rotten onion.
So it's like ogres. It's like ogres, huh?
Yep.
It just there were like you thought there was going to be more to it, and it's just the same old onion.
Yep. Unfortunately, but speaking of some new episodes coming up this Thursday, January the 12th, Friday the 14th podcast returns with a all new review of Friday the 13th, the original Friday the 13th from 1980, live on Emissawa Productions YouTube channel this Thursday, 6 p.m. Friday the 14th returns as we review Friday the 13th. So it should be a fun episode. Join us live this Thursday on this YouTube channel, how you're watching us now. So yeah, guys, Glass Onion, a 6, a 6, a 7, and a 5. I was a little disappointed. Probably, I can't wait to see where this movie falls on our worst, best, or most disappointing of 2022.
It's gonna fall.
It's gonna fall. Next week, guys, HBO Max, The Menu. What do you guys think? Are you guys excited to see this movie? I missed it in theaters, so it should be a fun first time watch at home on HBO Max. What do you guys think? The Menu, another 2022 movie.
Seems like a decent concept. I'm kind of excited for it. You know, I Anya Taylor-Joy. I'm not completely sure of all the other actors' names, but it looks like it's a good cast. So,
yeah.
I wanted to see this in the theater. Just ran out of time. I think it's going to be fun. I think it'll be a fun film. Like you said, Anya Taylor-Joy, Ralph Fiennes, Nicholas Hoult. I have a good idea of what this movie might be about, but you know, who knows? I could be turned around. So we'll
Look,
see.
You got the Beast, you got Voldemort, and you got the Witch. Boom.
And then Ed shows up and he's like, "Oh yeah,
oh yeah." And there's the whales.
So it should be fun next week. We're going all out. We're going another 2022 movie, The Menu, next Monday, January the 16th. Until then, guys, next Monday, does anybody have any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Nope.
Nah, man. Keep chugging on. And
Craig, before we get out of here, what's your final prediction for the national championship tonight?
Well, they are 2.5 minutes in. I'm going to take Georgia 28-24.
28-24. I got Georgia 31-17. Anybody else want to put a leg in?
Why not? I'll go ahead and go with the same as Craig, but reverse it. TCU 28-24. I don't know, man. Hopefully they come hungry. We'll see.
Speaking of hungry, don't forget next week, The Menu right here on a brand new episode of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. Have a good night, guys. Good week.